guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing something a little bit different. I'm making a wedding cake and I have 2 days to complete the process, so I thought I'd take you guys along with me and show you how I do it. This is my third wedding cake. It's a carrot cake, 3 tiers with fondant, gum paste flowers, some piping, so I think it's going to be pretty cool, and I thought I'd take you guys along and show you the process. So let's get started. So the first thing I did was actually make the flowers, which I started a couple of days in advance just to get a head start on things and to give them a chance to dry. So I'm just rolling out some gum paste and then cutting it out with my flower cutter and thinning out the edges. Then I'm going to leave it to dry on some tin foil, which is going to help it keep its shape. And I'm just going to repeat this process many times. Now that the flowers have had a chance to dry overnight, I'm going to attach a toothpick to the back of the larger flowers and a few of the smaller ones with some royal icing so that I have a way to actually attach the flowers to the cake. Some people like to use wires. I personally just prefer to use toothpicks. So I left the royal icing to completely dry overnight, and now I'm going to color the flowers with an airbrush. The wedding colors are a peachy orange and a deep purple, so I'm spraying the flowers orange, and I'll be using some purple fondant later on. So once that's done, I'm going back in with some more royal icing to attach the smaller flowers to the larger ones, which give them some depth and a more realistic look. And finally, I'm just finishing off with some edible pearls in the center of each flower. So now it's time to start the actual baking process. I spent all of the first day baking since obviously I have a regular sized kitchen, as you can see, so it takes quite a while to make enough cake to actually construct a wedding cake. I believe I made 9 9x13-inch cakes and 3 8x8s, which is how much it took to make a 3-tier cake with 3 layers each. On to day 2 of the cake making process. I'm going to start off by trimming, leveling, and stacking all 3 tiers. So as you can see, I've just started with a cake board that has a little bit of buttercream on it, and then I'm just going to trim and layer as I go, trying to keep everything as even as possible. I personally like to pipe a border and then fill the rest of the surface with buttercream just to keep everything nice and level. And then I'm just going to repeat the process with all 3 tiers, fitting the cake pieces together as necessary. Next, I'm giving each tier a crumb coat to seal in all of the crumbs before giving them a final layer of buttercream. And finally, it's time to start decorating, which is my favorite part of the process. So I'm just putting down some icing sugar and then rolling out some fondant. I'm just gonna drape that over the cake and smooth it over and trim off any excess from the edges, and I'm just gonna repeat this for each of the tiers. Now I'm adding in some purple detail, which I mentioned earlier. I'm just rolling out some deep purple fondant and attaching a few strips onto each cake. As you can see, there is icing sugar all over the purple, but that will easily wipe off with a damp paper towel. Now I'm adding some piping detail with royal icing. I absolutely love the white on white piping look. I think it's super subtle and elegant and just adds so much to the cake. And finally, it is the day of the wedding. So I'm just putting in some wide straws or bubble tea straws, whatever you want to call them, and these just add some support to the cake. After a very stressful 45-minute drive, shout out to my mom's amazing driving skills, the cakes made it safely to the venue and it's time to start stacking before the guests arrive. So I started by setting up the base and then I used some royal icing between each layer just to add a little extra stability. And then I use a little more royal icing to pipe a border at the base of each tier. I have no idea why I started with the middle tier, but I guess I felt like it. And finally, the last step is placing the flowers on the cake. I put a few in the corners and then the rest go on top. And there we go, guys. There is the finished piece. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and leave me a comment down below if you like this style of video. Also, please hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more videos coming soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye!